Hey man, Mike Yarbrough here. Before we jump into this episode, I wanted to let you guys know about a couple of things going on with Wolf and Iron, very exciting things happening. One, I'm excited to announce, there's a lot of excitement going on here. I'm excited to announce that after many, many months of working on this, we have finally launched our beard oils, and they are spectacular, guys. Now, you can look at these things. You can only smell them by ordering. Sorry, I don't have like smell-o-vision or whatever through the web. But you can order these things by going to wolfandiron.com/beardoil or beard oils. Either one will take you there. That'll slingshot you over to our store where you can just see the beard oils that we have out there. We've got one that's patterned after John Muir. We've got one that's patterned after Frederick Douglass. One that's patterned after Blackbeard. Now, we don't know if these guys actually smelled like these beard oils, but they're very much the inspiration behind the scents that we chose and even some of the ingredients. And you guys can read more about those. Now, the second thing I want to tell you guys about is something called Rally Points. For those of you who are members of our free online Facebook group, the Wolf and Iron Community, you may have heard about the one coming up. It's called Be the Hero of Your Marriage. And in this one, it's coming up actually August 30th, so really, really soon. It's going to be at 7 p.m. EDT, that's Eastern Disco Time, in case you're wondering. But it's going to be all about being the hero of your marriage. And I'm going to share some it's basically an online training. I'm going to share some of my story about my marriage that's almost failed a number of times, how we kind of came to the brink and then brought it back and finally brought it back, I believe, for hopefully the last time. And I'm also going to share some thoughts and some kind of a presentation for you guys about how men think, how women think, why we are the way we are, some of the typical kind of struggles that guys and gals have inside of a marriage relationship. And look, even if you're not married, you guys want to get this kind of stuff way ahead of time. Trust me, you guys want to know these things going into it. I think this is going to bless you guys quite a bit. It's going to probably transform some of your marriages out there. And the way that you guys can attend this event is by heading over to wolfandiron.com/thegroup and join our free Facebook group. The event is there in all the details for the event, where it's going to be and all that kind of stuff online is there in the Facebook group. And then once again, that's wolfandiron.com/thegroup. You should be prompted with a few questions to answer. Answer those questions. We don't let just anybody in. You guys know this. We try to keep things high caliber and high quality in everything that we do. And that includes the men that we're connecting with that are serious about growing and becoming better men. So once again, that's not this Thursday, but it's Thursday, August 30th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I look forward to seeing you guys over there.
This is from Bill Clinton. How do you know if you found the right one?
You didn't.
All right, fellas, let me just welcome you all here first to another episode of the Ask a Man on... Let me start with that. That sucked.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Wow. I'm totally off my game.
You should probably kill yourself.
Hey, fellas, welcome back to another episode of the Wolf and Iron Podcast. You guys are touching my toes?
Footsie. You touched my hand a minute ago, and now you're touching my foot.
There's like
with
3
your
feet between us. How are we keep touching each other?
Weird.
This is really
There's something weird going on.
There's some strange stuff going on here.
Huntersville.
Anyhow, you're listening to the an Ask a Man episode on the Wolf and Iron Podcast. I'm glad to have you guys here. If you're just checking us out for the first time and you want to find out more about what Ask a Man is about or how you can send us questions, head over to wolfandiron.com/askaman. There's a little form on there you guys can fill out and send some questions over to myself and my friend, Brandon McConnell, who's here with me. And what we do is we answer questions that men have about life. And so it's just one of the ways that we help you guys out on Wolf and Iron. So there we go.
Do you think we're helping?
We're entertaining.
I think we're probably doing as much damage as helping, but it's fun. It's just a good time.
It's just a good time. That's what it's all about. So this question comes from Justin. And he says, how does a man know when he's met the right girl? I should mention this is Justin with a Y.
All right, so not my brother.
Not your brother.
Good.
No. How does a man know when he's met the right girl? And here's a question. I'm going to read the whole thing here. It says, I'm a 35-year-old Christian male, single, ladies, if you're listening to this. I recently broke up with my Christian girlfriend over a few issues, mainly being her anger and resentment stemming from me not meeting her deep emotional neediness and expectations. Whoa, gosh, I got deep for just a girlfriend.
Wow.
I've been reading a book. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So now I feel guilty that I ended the relationship with my girlfriend. How do I know I did the right thing or not? And how do I even judge if someone is a good companion or helper for me? Thanks, love the site. Great resource for the masculine male from Justin with a Y. All right. So
Man, do we complicate this stuff?
we do. Why do you think Justin's complicating things?
Yes.
All right, let's see. Let's hear it.
Okay, so if you are not married,
Right. That's a good place to start.
if you are not married, I don't think you should ever feel guilty about ending a relationship. You should feel guilty about prolonging a relationship that's obviously not going anywhere. And we get stuck in these things. Like, it's kind of like limbo of like, look, I know this is never going to work out, but I'm scared to be alone and I'm just going to keep it going. And it's just like, I get so frustrated with people.
No, I see that all the time, actually.
And it's men and women. It's not
No,
just
yeah, it's
guys.
it's on both sides. I meet people fairly often who they've been engaged sometimes for years,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, you're not engaged if that's the case. You're just basically you've got a ring.
Dating
and-
with accessories.
exactly, yeah, or people who have dated for 7 years and they're not married yet, but they still have. It's not like they don't want to get married. They do want to get married. They just haven't chosen the time. And you're like, really, settle down. Like,
Well, like I did with you earlier, pick a date.
pick a date. That's right. Not to get married. No, it's not.
No, it's
not what's
something
happening.
different.
Something totally different. Let's do the last episode. But so how does a guy though? He's in a relationship with a girl, and he likes her.
Yeah.
She's attractive.
Yeah.
She's nice. How does he know if she's the one that he's going to be with and
So-
should be with for the rest of his life?
If you feel like you have to make a pros and cons chart to decide whether or not you're going to stay with somebody for the rest of your life, she ain't the one, buddy. She's not. It should be. It's very simple and trite, but when you know, you know. Like, if you know this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, then that's the person you should probably spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
But if you've been with her for 6, 8 months, a year, and you're still trying to decide, if you can even stand being around her, it's probably not going to work out.
Well, that may be the case, but I want to say you might be oversimplifying it.
I'm sure I am. I'm really oversimple myself.
And here's the reason why is because guys overcomplicate it. And what they do is they say, maybe this girl isn't the best one out there. And I think, instead of, here's the realization. When you get into marriage and when you get married and you're in a marriage, you change and she changes over time.
Yeah.
And so all the girl that you thought was the one and that she was the best one, you're going to find out things about her that you don't like. And she's going to find out things about you don't like.
Yes.
And you guys don't change at the same time. And so you're going to have to make conscious decisions at some point in this relationship, probably multiple times, to stay together and to evolve together, to change and grow together. And so, but guys, what they do is they think, I'm dating this girl, but what if another girl comes along who just absolutely is the one for sure? And now I've committed to Susie over here, and Susie is, no longer she the one. Now I'm screwed.
Well, are you married to Susie or are you still dating Susie?
Well, say you're still dating Susie, but the reason you haven't married her is because you're worried that, Betty's going to come along. I'm using names from the 50s.
I love it.
Betty's going to come along.
Mabel came along and swept me off my feet.
And so guys hold out for what they think is the better girl out there. Probably has something to do with Hollywood, I'm guessing.
So if you're looking for perfection, it ain't out there.
Mm-hmm.
So stop looking for that. But if you are engaged to somebody and some amazing girl comes along, break off the engagement and date this girl if that's what you really think is happening. But once you're married, I mean, all bets are off.
Yeah.
That door's closed. You stop looking.
There's
You have to try. I mean, I don't know what everybody out there believes, but you have to trust in God and His timing and orchestrating, like the universe, like all the stars, Mike, all of them. There's octillions of them out there, and we can't even count them all.
wow.
So
That's
I
deep,
think
bro.
that He could definitely orchestrate your love life and set you up for victory. I just think we complicate it too much.
Here's what I think. Let me tell you what I think.
Yeah.
I don't think there's the right one. I think that's the issue of the question.
There's like the right. You've got like minimum requirements, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah. Am I attracted to this person?
yes,
Can we get along? Do we
check.
Do we have laugh together?
Check.
Do we have some things in common? Similar worldviews and principles and that kind of stuff, right?
You know what's wrong with me and my wife?
Oh my gosh! Well, this is how much long? We got, this is gonna be a long one, guys.
We have too much in common because we both suck at the same stuff. Like, you know how some households you've got like an organizer and an ideas. Well, we're both ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like being married to you. It's like only prettier.
Only prettier.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know why I went down that rabbit trail.
Well, but that
doesn't mean I'm going to leave my wife because she can't balance a freaking checkbook.
Yeah.
We just overdraft and pay the fees, whatever.
It's cheaper than a divorce. So
it is cheaper than a divorce.
Yeah. I mean, they say opposites attract, but I think a lot of times, and that is true to some degree. But I think that sometimes similarities attract, and that's fine. You want to have somebody who you're friends with. One of the challenges my wife and I have is that we're so completely freaking different.
Yeah.
And that even though we complement each other very well in this business kind of world, and even sometimes in parenting, there are a lot of things that we're just very different about it. I mean, like growing up, we always celebrated Halloween and Christmas and Easter and all that kind of traditional, well, not traditional, but stuff that we do as Americans. And my wife was very anti Halloween for sure. She's like, I don't want anything to do with Halloween, the devil, that kind of stuff. And she's like, little things like that, but it's been differences here and there all over,
my wife started off anti-Halloween and I've corrupted her because my kids are very pro-candy. I'm like, free candy.
And they look so cute. So that's where you get the wife. If you guys want to know, that's the trick, right? You put the kids in a costume. I mean, what's the wife going to do? They look adorable.
Yeah, I mean, unless they want to be like
a zombie or something.
Freddy Krueger or something. Yeah,
they wouldn't know who that is. But anyhow, yeah. So, but I think the issue is that there's not, honestly, I don't think there is the right one. I think that.
No, that's solid advice, actually.
In honesty, because here's what that means. If your wife dies, or the girl that was the right one for you, she dies.
Yeah, you got to stay single the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're done. That's it. You had it. You had your chance, buddy. Sorry. Car accidents,
You're Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
My wife died. And he just wasn't open to it. He wasn't open to love anymore. And that's a sad place to be.
That is sad.
As a middle-aged college professor.
Here's what I found is that relationally, there are a number of people that you could probably get along with just fine with and have a successful marriage and a successful friendship, relationship, sex life, all that kind of stuff with, right? So I think that the idea that there is the one out there is really a misnomer. I think really what it is are you willing and do you want to commit to this person for the rest of your life? Are you willing to love them, cherish them, honor them, respect them, lead them? All those kinds of things, and for the rest of your life, right? And that's the commitment. Knowing that, and here's the truth: there will be other people who come along at some point in your life where you're like, that person's awesome. I'd like to spend more time with them. This is a good looking lady, or this lady and I get along really, really well in ways that maybe my wife and I don't get along.
Yeah.
And so you can't go, oh well, maybe she's the one, and I've just made a mistake.
But here's the secret the devil won't tell you.
All right.
That lady that comes along that
is a whore,
is so awesome.
Oh,
well, I mean, might be that, but it just she probably, shaves her legs on the dinner table or something. Just something crazy that just would drive you absolutely crazy that you don't know about her.
Right, exactly.
Because you're not married to her. I remember when I thought my wife was perfect, I was so deceived. But, she's the closest thing I got.
Priscilla, he loves you. That's all.
She's not listening to this. Don't kid yourself.
Summer and I, when we met, we were in high school. And so I'm not going to go through the whole backstory, but basically I thought she was a lesbian drug user, which was kind of attractive, actually, back in the 90s.
I mean, if you're like one of those goth kids or something like that, yeah.
And but she turned out not to be, thankfully, for my sake.
Lesbian or drug user?
No, both. Yeah,
both.
Yeah,
wow.
No, she was actually.
Score.
The funny thing was she was new to the school, and she was a big conservative person, listened to Rush Limbaugh and all that kind of stuff. Republican, and the only other openly Republican person there was the guy who was selling weed because he didn't want the government on his back. And so she started
not a Republican position. That's a libertarian position.
Well, libertarian, but you know what I'm saying. It gets her closer to that side of the aisle. Anyhow, the guy was like anti-government. She was like, yeah, that sounds good,
Yeah.
And so she started hanging out with this guy, not knowing that he was the local druggie. So
okay,
kind of gave her a bad reputation. And anyhow, And but anyhow, the point is, when we met, I had those initial kind of feelings of like, this girl is cool, I like her, you know, she's mysterious. But then later on, it became, this girl's good for me. Like, she's somebody who has some qualities that I don't see around here and anybody else.
Yeah.
And I so appreciate those, and I don't want to let those get away.
Are most people really as vapid as we perceive them to be? Or is it just that we are only looking, like, I look at most women and think, you would drive me crazy. You would drive me crazy. You would drive me crazy.
Sure.
But maybe it's just the way that I'm wired and I'm oriented towards a certain type of woman, and there's other guys that are into the ones that I'm just like, never in a million years. I don't know.
Well, it's got
I
to
feel
be
like I really hit the lottery when I found
yeah,
my wife.
well, yeah, I mean, it's got to be that way because there are guys that I know who have wives that I would never marry, and I don't understand how it works.
There's some dudes got some really crappy wives though, man.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's
And
like,
you know, and some of the guys, but some of the couples get along though. That's the thing.
yeah,
You know, like, you know, some of the guys you can tell they're beat down and their wives just suck, and the guys, you know,
yeah,
basically he's made a terrible decision.
yeah.
She was not the one, but in any case, but there are other
Don't
people
ever
who
start doing marriage counseling, okay?
your wife, not the one. That's the issue here. No, but there are other guys who have wives that are just that would drive me crazy, but they get along, they love each other, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there is absolutely different personalities line up better, you know.
Drives me. Ugh.
But I think you got to get out of your head that there's the one lady, and
Yeah,
I think
that's the point.
The
That's
big
the
question,
answer.
the big question is this: are you willing to make a commitment to this lady?
Yep.
You know, does she have the qualities that you appreciate, that you admire?
Yes.
Do you look at her and go, she's going to make a great mother, or she's going to make a great friend or companion or, you know, lover, right?
If I may make an analogy,
Go ahead, make one.
I love butter pecan ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
If there was any flavor of ice cream that if I had to pick one for the rest of my life, it'd
Yep.
be butter pecan.
Okay.
But I had what was it? I think it was a cookies and cream last weekend. And it was very good and
You
enjoyable.
cheating on your butter pecan?
I was cheating on my butter pecan is what I'm saying. So the idea, but butter pecan isn't the be all end all. So sometimes I want to stray. So there's certain characteristics of ice cream that I like, and there's other things that like Neapolitan. Give me a break. That's so
No, there's too much going on.
9-year-old birthday party.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so if you look at women like ice cream and just simplify them down to the level of ice cream,
Yeah.
and just say there are certain characteristics that I like. I know that there's no absolute perfect flavor of ice cream for me, but there are things about different flavors of ice cream that I like. And when I find one that most closely matches my ideal dream ice cream and realize that it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to not make me fat. You just go with that flavor. And if you're ready to commit, you'll commit. If you're not ready to commit, just say so. Like maybe this guy's not even ready to commit.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is where your analogy breaks down. Is that if your perfect woman has a little nuts, not good.
No.
No.
Women don't have nuts. I don't care what they're saying in 2018.
That's true. Yep. So, you know, let's just go with the flavor here and some general textures. But yeah.
But on the other side of that coin, if you're not married, don't ever feel bad about ending a relationship.
Yep.
Like it was going to end anyhow. If you've got some sort of an inclination and you ended it and now you're having regrets about ending it, it wasn't going to work out anyway.
Yeah, that's right. A counselor friend of ours said that he had been married to the same woman multiple times. I'm shifting gears here.
That's
again.
weird.
And he said the reason he says that is because he's been married for like 30, 40 years, something like that. And he says that every 5 or 10 years they change. His wife changes, he changes, and they have to make that, like I said before, that recommitment.
Yeah.
And I think that you've got to have that in your mind as well, that the person that you are when you're 20 years old is not going to have the same desires, exactly the same desires, and exactly the same personality as when you're 35 or as when you're 45 or 55. There are going to be some things that are similar, both in you and both in your wife, but you guys are going to have to make that recommitment. This is what happens when, you know, people have been married for 20 years and the kids finally move out of the house and they get divorced because they look at each other and go, I don't know what we have if we don't have kids.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's the other thing too, is that you got to make that same commitment to say, I don't know if she's the right one, but she's the one I've chosen and she's the one for me.
Yeah.
right? I think that's solid, and you've got to make that over and over again. Not to make marriage sound laborious and terrible, but that is the great.
Sometimes it is laborious and terrible.
It is
Let's
kind of
set
laborious and
proper
terrible, but
expectations
you know,
here.
like love doesn't always feel good. You know,
Love is not a feeling.
that's right.
Love is a decision.
Love is a decision. That's right. And it is something that you're going to have to make over and over and over again. That's why marriage is not just a piece of paper. You know, when people
Yeah.
talk about, it's just a piece of paper at this point. No, it's a commitment before God that no matter what, you're going to remain faithful to this lady.
Stick it out.
Stick it out.
So let me throw you a curveball here, Mike.
Okay. Oh, geez. Here we go.
You ever read the book, The 5 Love Languages?
I have.
Well, I haven't, but I know what it says.
Okay.
And when I first got married, my wife's number one love language was physical touch.
Okay.
I was pretty good with that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, guess what? It changed.
That sucks.
Her love language now
Service?
is acts of freaking service.
Yep.
That's so lame.
Yeah.
So lame.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing to stay on top of, though, right?
Yeah, doing dishes instead of.
You know what? It's going to come back around, though. Don't you worry.
I really would like it to go back to physical touch.
When the kids get older. But see,
Yeah.
physical touch can still be in there somewhere, like number 3 or 4, you know, like on the list.
I don't know where it's at on the list, but it's not where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a really good point. Like, you know, in terms of opposites attract, my wife has hers would be quality time and probably physical. She actually says she likes all of them basically equally. And different days of the week, it would be different ones take priority. It's really confusing, but
It's not supposed to be easy.
no, it's not easy at all. And you know, mine's basically just words of affirmation. And
You're doing a great job with this podcast.
thanks, appreciate that, brother.
It's because I love you.
Yeah. And see, I could use more of that summer. No, I'm just kidding. No, words of affirmation, and that's probably my biggest thing, really. But hers would be, you know, physical touch, gifts, quality time, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it does change. And our ladies, they change over time. So got to get that question right, guys. It's not about finding the right one. It's about committing to one.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Just don't treat marriage like a VCR.
Another analogy. Here we go.
VCR, it is kind of another analogy.
You take ice cream,
But
and
like,
you put it in the VCR.
look at the way we treat our appliances. Like we used to have appliance repairmen
Mm-hmm.
and, TV repairmen and stuff like that. Guess what? Something breaks in my house. That sucker's going to the curb.
Yep.
Go to the garbage and we'll just go buy another one. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. And I feel like in the same time where we've started to do that with our appliances and our VCR, I don't even know if anybody has a VCR anymore. I don't know why I said that. But like the way we do that with our stuff, we're starting to treat our marriages like that too, where, oh, this is broken. I should probably just try again. I'm going to back up and punt.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no.
Well, the same stuff that is broken in your first marriage as you decided to bail on and just hope that it gets fixed in the second marriage somehow, like incompatibility or whatever crap that is.
Yeah.
You know, that's just going to carry over to your second marriage and your third marriage and whatever
You're
else.
at least half the problem, bozo.
Yep, got to be. Yeah. And so, guys, I'm telling you, it's a lot better on you. Certainly if you have kids, better on the kids. It's going to be better on your pocketbook.
Yeah.
If you figure out what the problem is, and you use your commitment, right, that you made before God, before your friends and family,
Mhm.
and use that commitment. 'Cause sometimes that's all you got. All I got is I made this commitment.
Yeah.
And until I figure this out, I'm just going to stay committed.
Yeah.
And then you get back on track. We've done that. I mean, our marriage has been in the toilet a number of times.
Yeah.
And sometimes all we had was, look, we made an oath.
Yep.
We don't like each
Swore a
other.
vow.
We can't stand each other. We
Yeah.
made an oath. And then we figured it out. And so, and guess what? I had issues, and my wife had issues.
Yeah.
And we both had
Well,
things.
look
we had
where
to-
you're at now.
We're both doing
One of the
really,
happiest couples I know.
yeah. That's the front we put on. No, I'm just kidding. No, we do. We love each other a lot more than we ever have. So things are, definitely on the right path. And
Finally
so
got your head out of your rectum.
I did. I realized that it was okay for my wife to need affection. That was actually an okay thing.
It's almost normal.
It's a normal thing. So, and so yeah. Anyhow, we could go on for days about marriage advice and counseling and stuff like that. So if you guys want marriage advice,
Call somebody else.
no, send it in as a question. So we'll jump on it. But try to get specific. If you're dealing with issues. So yeah, get the question right. It's not about finding the right one. It's about committing to one and loving her. But I think you do have to have some things to check off. Do you guys get along? Do you are you settling? I think that's the thing you don't want to do.
Yeah, don't do that.
And here's the other thing: are you the man? Are you a man that's worthy of the kind of woman that you want?
Ooh,
I mean, at the end of the day,
that stings.
there's ladies out there. You know, some of you guys aren't finding ladies, and you're wondering like, why are my relationships falling apart? Well, what kind of guy are you?
So I got one more thing that just popped into my mind because
Okay.
it's something I hear all the time.
Is this an analogy?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's actual real talk.
Okay.
Real talk. You ready?
Yep.
A lot of times I will hear guys lamenting about the fact that nice guys always finish last.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm such a nice guy, and you say you want this, but you don't want me. Oh. Nice guys don't finish last. Boring guys finish last.
Amen. That's right.
Do something to make yourself interesting. If all you're doing is sitting around posting on Facebook about how nice guys finish last, that's not attractive
Yep.
to women.
No,
It's not.
women like guys who are going somewhere and doing something with their life.
No, that and they like a challenge. They like an edge. They like, just something to make you interesting.
If you're a nice guy and you're finishing last, the lady you're going to attract is somebody who wants a pushover.
Yep.
She's going to be the one who wants to run all over you, make all the
Yeah.
decisions for you,
The women in my family.
and you do not want
There
to
are
be
some
shackled to
women
that.
in my family that love that kind of guy, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, oh.
If you're the guy who's
It's
thinking
just
about
great
calling your
nerves.
wife the boss, no. Okay, I mean, like
Yeah. Oh.
my wife respects me as the leader of the home, and she has responsibilities and things like organization and
Yeah.
calendaring and stuff like that. But I don't call her the boss. I mean, but she doesn't call me the boss either. So it's a weird kind of.
Yeah.
Some guys they just give up.
Yeah. The boss. So doing what I do for a living, I deal with what should be the alpha males of our society.
Yep.
Police officers, firefighters, jailers, and getting these guys to make a decision. I hear it over and over again. A lot of them are
Mhm.
what I would expect them to be, and they'll make a decision and whatever. But I hear that term you just said all the time: the boss, the boss, the boss, the boss. And I literally want to slap the piss out and be like, "No, you're the freaking leader of your house. Like, make a decision if you just don't want to do." But anyhow, yeah, that flies all over me.
Yeah. So you don't want to attract that kind of lady, and the way you don't do that is you become the man of your own destiny. I mean, you're gonna have to make compromises in a relationship. That's not what I'm talking
I
about.
am not in the NFL.
What are you talking?
I had to make a compromise.
That's a compromise you made.
I never played football a day in my life.
But you got to think about the ladies you're going to attract, and the character of the man that you are is going to have a lot to do with that. So, I think that's it. I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah, it's a good place to stop because I'm out of gas.
I am too. Well, look, I appreciate you guys. These questions are great, and gives us a chance to speak to a lot of guys who need to hear these kinds of things. I mean, Brandon and I have a lot of fun talking about this, but there are guys out there who, I mean, you're one of the guys listening to this right now is going, I got nobody else in my life to ask this to. I don't have men in my life that I can really confide in or I can ask these kind of questions to. I love getting this kind of feedback and hearing this kind of banter just between dudes, and we appreciate it too. So in order to make that happen, make sure you send us some questions. Head over to wolfandiron.com/askaman. And also, before I forget, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. I don't want you guys to miss an episode. You don't want to miss an episode. And if you don't mind, share the episode to make sure the guys who need to hear it can hear it. And those are the guys that you know that also need these kind of connections. And they may have some questions as well. All right, fellas, that's all I got. Talk to you later.